Collins Music Castlebar, suppliers of musical instruments and books for over 100 years.
Walter Overclosure, you're welcome indeed to another edition of the Irish at Home and Abroad. Now don't forget, later on in the programme we'll be crossing the Irish Sea to join Martin Logan, who's with the Irish community in the UK. We'll be continuing our trip around Ireland, visiting well-known pubs. This week we're at the Tavern Bar and Restaurant in Murrisk. But first, as you can see here, I'm travelling in style today. I'm outside Hotel Westport, getting ready for the launch of the Connacht Veteran and Vintage Car Club Annual Rally, and I'm travelling in style.
Busy weekend here this morning. You can see with all these fabulous cars as they head out this morning from Hotel Westport. We host many regular clubs with Jaguar, Porsche and the Minis and all different ones throughout the years. But this is the first time for these to come and stay. They've been with us many times for lunch, the local Connacht group. So we're looking forward to having them all in for their banquet dinner tonight.
Yeah, full weekend
full weekend, back this evening for their banquet dinner, and then tomorrow afternoon they'll head off again. Kept going for the whole weekend, but you're no two miles admiring these lovely cars.
Yeah, have you taken a fancy to any particular one?
These older ones are more my style. Yeah. But the only thing about them is they're a little slow, Henry.
Right, okay.
This is a fantastic run to be involved with. It's the largest vintage car rally taking place in Ireland, so it's great for us to be involved with it because, again, we have visitors from all over the country coming to this part of the world, so it's fantastic for Mayo, to host an event such as this.
And of course they have a spectacular run, the type of thing you like to promote here in Mayo.
Absolutely. The wide Atlantic Way going throughout County Mayo is fantastic. We're centrally located along that massive driving route, the longest driving route in Ireland. And today, all the participants that are taking part in the rally will be taking in some of the most fantastic landscapes. Like they'll be heading out towards Louisburgh, taking in the beautiful Delphi Valley, heading on towards Ashley Falls, and maybe taking a trip back here into Westport again, which is headquarters for this event.
We have 186 members. They're from Sligo, Roscommon, Leitrim and Mayo. We have a few from Northern Ireland as well. Our normal meetings would have about 35-40 people at the normal meetings. We have 130 cars out today from various clubs from all over the country, from Northern Ireland down to Kerry, Cork, Galway, Roscommon, Sligo, Leitrim, Mayo. We met up here last night with a meet and greet. We have our main run today, our dinner dance tonight, and then tomorrow we'll have a short run, and after dinner we dispatch.
This is some car you have here. What is this?
It's a 1917 Renault, but it was actually started to be built in 1915. It took them a few years to put the cars together at that stage. And there was 150 of these built that we know of. They were built for the Russian Tsar of Russia. He was at war with Japan at that time. And but he didn't pay for them. So they went into the French army instead. They all became searchlights mounted on the backs of them, or maybe a machine gun. But this was actually a staff car.
Wow. And it's a very unique one, probably one of the only cars.
Well, it's the only one that's known of. I'm on the Renault register, worldwide register, and this model is never turned up.
1917?
1917, registered in 1917.
Right. What kind of value would you put on this?
Oh God, I don't know. You get two lads arguing at an auction, you might do very well.
Yeah. So what are the special features in it?
Well, the specialties, well, It's a robust car, like, you know, it's more or less, some people have referred to them as a small lorry. But she was actually converted into a staff car, carrying officers around about and wanting another. And she was ambushed in at one stage, and it ended up that the driver lost his leg. The bullet holes are still in the door there, which you can see thereafter. He survived, we know that, because I have nearly a complete history of this car from when it was first built, and went back into the archives of Renault in England, the Paris Museum in England, in France.
Yes.
And they were able to give us a lot of detail.
And what about parts? I mean, where would you get parts for the likes of
Well,
this?
these engines are very easy, like you nearly do. You'll make anything yourself, and these were all built that whoever drove them was able to repair them. In most cases.
What would you do to the gallon now?
She does it does about 18 to 20 miles to the gallon.
Right. And what's the box here on the outside? Is that the battery, is it?
That's the battery box, that's right, yeah.
And so the weather doesn't matter with the box like that?
No. And on the far side you carried your petrol, because in those days there was no petrol pumps, and the chemist made up the petrol for you.
Wow.
So you stopped at a chemist, and then he put the substance together to refine it, and that's the way it was originally. So you carried petrol with you all the time.
And finally, can I just ask you, where did you come across this?
I came across this in England. A very good friend of mine who I know for years and years, he'd be one of Britain's top restorers, and he spent 9 years rebuilding this.
Wow.
Over 9 years.
Well, enjoy the one. It's absolutely an amazing, fantastic car.
And thanks very much.
Cahir, look, congratulations, your first official engagement in your new role.
Yeah, thank you, Henry. Yeah, this is it. I only took over this role a few days ago, and this is my first official function, as it were, here in the beautiful Westport. So it's good to be here again and back again in office, you know.
And what better day to be here with all these beautiful vintage cars?
Well, absolutely. You know, it is absolutely fantastic as you look around here today, Henry, and see all those wonderful cars, you know. And I did a little bit in that a few years ago myself, but unfortunately I ran out of time and money, I suppose, and all that. But look, it's a lovely pastime, and there are some beautiful older cars here, you know, and it brings back old memories to us all, indeed, you know. As I said, sure, where better could they be?
Henry, we're absolutely delighted to have the Vintage Car Rally in Westport. In actual fact, this is the 4th rally this year. We did the International Mini Festival, we did the MGs, the Jaguars, and now we have the Vintage Car Rally. And of course we have fantastic facilities in the hotel linking up with Westport House, which means that they can drive to Westport House and stay on a flat route all the way to Louisburgh. But it's terrific for tourism. It brings in a lot of extra people. And as you can see, there are some fantastic cars here today. So I'm not particularly a car enthusiast, but I've got the opportunity of driving with this fantastic Model T Ford here today. So I'm availing of the opportunity of going backwards in time.
We're one of the sponsors here, sponsoring the Vintage Rally here today, which is a fantastic event for Westport. 3rd year running now, so I think there's about maybe 60 or 80 cars here.
And you've provided plates?
We've provided plates for the cars, so it's major sponsorship, and they always have to be doing stuff for the club. But I know they're tearing off now down to Westport House, and there's going to be a great amount of people down here looking at what's going on. So I think it's a great event for Westport, and the sun is shining, so what more do you want, Henry?
Lovely. We'll enjoy the run then.
I will indeed. We'll talk to you around. Thanks very much.
All right.
It's to meet and greet and see people from, some people you haven't seen for the year before, and as part of the club we go to other clubs as well. We travel around the country as well, and the main thing at the club is the love of cars.
And do you know what the oldest car you have here in the group today?
Our oldest car would be very early 1900s today.
Mm-hmm. And are they all capable of doing the runs, the cars?
Oh yes, these cars are minded like children. Some of the wives say the husband spends more time on the car than they do on them.
And is it an expensive hobby?
It's not really. Once you kind of have your car, it's not really. The only thing is you're never happy with one car. and you see something else and you want it. So most people wheel and deal, they have a car for a while, then they like a change, so they may sell that one to buy the next one. And a lot of people in the club would be mechanics, panel beaters, and they would restore a car from nothing.
So looking forward to the weekend.
We're really looking forward to the weekend. Hopefully the weather will stand out for us, and we'll have a good weekend, and we'll have a good night tonight as well.
Well, we've reached the halfway mark of the Connacht Veteran and Vintage Motor Club annual rally from Westport down to Mam Cross. And we're here at Glenkeen Farm for a well-deserved break, and then we're on our way. So we'll see you after the break. Well, we're continuing our trip around Ireland, visiting well-known pubs along the Tours Trail. This week we're closer to home because we're in Merris visiting the Tavern Bar and Restaurant. Have a look at this.
Tavern, both Miles and I bought it 15 years ago. When we got our hands on it, it was very much a project in the making. And over the 15 years that we've had it, we've renovated it 2 or 3 times. We've added to it, and we now have a very, very good, strong local business.
My passion for food comes from the fact that my mother in the early 60s opened up a D&B in Rossbeg on our own farm at home. And we killed our own cattle, we made our own butter, we made our own jams, everything locally produced, grew our own veg and the whole lot of that. And everything was fresh at home. So I grew up in an atmosphere of great food. From then, I went to culinary college, went on to travel the world and extended my passion for food. We're in the Michelin Guide. We're in John and Sally McKenna's Bridgestone Guide, we're in Georgina Campbell's Guide, and we also know a member of Good Food Ireland. These are very important because this signifies to people the level of food that we do. People can expect a warm and friendly welcome, beautiful atmosphere when they arrive in, good service, quality of food to match it, cooked with passion, served with passion.
I'm just in shock. I've never seen the car park looking as posh. These are just beautiful. And we're delighted to host this event today for the Mayo Vintage Car Club. It's just superb, great for the Wild Atlantic Way, great for Glenkeen Farm, and I hope they're all having a great day here. They had tea and coffee and snacks, and they're welcome to stay for lunch. And we have a bit of Irish music actually. We have a group of coach coming in shortly, and we have a group this afternoon for turf cutting, and they're actually going to learn the bowron. So we've lots of different packages here celebrating Irish culture, tradition and everything that's great about Mayo.
This is the 1947 Riley, an RMA, built in Coventry just around the late 46. And it was imported then to Northern Ireland, came across from Lina in the 70s, and I bought it around 84. This was known as the poor man's Rolls Royce. The shape of the car, the model, the flow of the thing. A lovely car to drive.
Have you been part of the Connacht Veteran Vintage run over the last number of years?
I'm a member of the Connacht Vintage Club since probably 1986, I think. I'm probably 32 years a member of the 34. I'm a life member of the club now. I would have held office in the club probably for 50% of my time in the club. I probably would have been in office of some description for probably the last 16 years in it.
Wow, well, I'm in one of the most unusual cars. This is Anto Heenahan, and Anto, what are we in here?
We're in a Riley 9 Special, 1933 Riley 9 Special. This would have been, in its original state, a saloon car. But in those days, if the car was crashed or if the body was shot for a rusty bag of rust, you could make a special out of it. So there was certain cars that lended themselves to make the specials, and the owners either commissioned someone or built them themselves and made specials. So this I built myself.
Wow.
And it's called a Riley 9 Special.
Yeah. And what kind of mileage does she do? Or?
Oh, it would do about 65 to 70 miles an hour. But they used to race those cars as well. So by souping up the engine and doing a few things, you could actually race it.
And what's special about these runs, Anto?
Special about these runs, I suppose the cars, number one, and number two, or maybe number one, is the camaraderie and meeting people. You meet people from all walks of life, and you can travel. I can travel to England, I can travel to Cork, anywhere, and meet people that I know. And it's just the friendship. Yeah. It's the people more than the cars. Yeah.
It's a 1959 Woodsley 1560. It's the only known mobile 1560 in the country. It's a very rare car. It's only 18,000 miles on it from new. It was laid up in a garage in Dublin for over 40 years. There was a nut and bolt restoration done on her in 2013, and I have her since 2014.
Obviously, you must be very proud of you. You're on the cover of a magazine as well with your car.
It's on the cover of the 2013 Vintage magazine, and it's in great condition, and she's going very well.
And you enjoy these trips?
I do indeed. I have a lot of different cars, but this is my pride. I enjoy this one here.
Noel, you've come a long distance to take part in this rally today.
Yes, come 130 miles from Irvinstown down to Westport, and I've been coming here for 33 years with the same car, and I enjoy the banter and the great company that we enjoy, and seeing everybody else's cars along with my own.
Now, will you just describe the car itself?
It's a Woolsey 1500, 1962, and it's porcelain green, that's the colour of it, and a very reliable car. I had no problems with it from I got it, done a few jobs to it here and there over the years, and very good reliable car.
Well, you started off at Westport this morning, we've ended up here in Mam Cross. What did you think of the route?
Great scenery, and it was well organised, and everybody enjoyed the drive along. We weren't going too fast, everybody was going at a nice pace, and I have to congratulate the organisers of this event. Well done to them.
Michael, what's the role of a president of a club like this?
Well, Henry, I only have the job 6 months, and I thought the president's job was saying the grace before meals or after meals, but it has turned out to be a hell of a lot more. But anyway, I am enjoying it.
Yes.
A lot of work involved in it, but I have to say that Tom Jennings organised everything, absolutely everything. The only thing I done for this run was the signage on the road. I booked a band, and I'm taking credit for the fine weather because Tom isn't, we call him Tom God, as you might know. He's not getting the credit for that. But I'd like to thank a few people. There was a small little committee, Michael Mannion, Tom, Anto Heenahan and myself. And Tom really put it all together. But without the help of the marshals on the motorbikes, Kevin Loftus and his friends, very, very important to us today because it's such a long run, beautiful scenery from Mocha Jasper.
I'm over 25 years with the club, Henry, and this year the run is Westport Run. So I work in Westport, and it was the ideal opportunity for me to get the run into Westport, get it organised from Westport. Michael David would be the president, and Michael asked me to take over the control of the run. So that's what I've done this year, Henry. Brought it to Westport, brought it to Hotel Westport. Westport, lovely town, Henry. The countryside out, this year we decided to come via Louisburgh into Leenane, down to Mam, across to Mam Cross, and we're here now in this beautiful place of Peacocks and Mam Cross, where they've stopped off for a bit of lunch. And after that, Henry, we will head out towards Carnamona, cross into Finney, and down by Knocknafooi, back into Westport then again for the evening, Henry, which then will end up with a dinner dance tonight, and we've about 190 people for dinner tonight in Hotel Westport.
And you're making a presentation tonight as
Yes,
well.
Henry, the presentation tonight for the RNLI, Henry. We do a fundraiser through the club from all the club cards for the year, and I think about €1,500, Henry, will go towards the RNLI, especially what happened down in Backsod there after the Christmas, Henry.
Well, I was invited on behalf of the RNLI to accept a cheque which is going to be donated later for the RNLI, and I'm delighted on behalf of the RNLI to accept it, because the Vintage Club is there a long time, the cars are there a long time, but the RNLI is there a hell of a lot longer. The RNLI is there since 1824, saving lives at sea and on lakes and on rivers, and creating and giving the message to respect the water. The RNLI is totally funded by voluntary donations. We don't receive one penny from the government. So we depend on people like the Veteran and Vintage Club, ordinary people on the street, putting money in the box, in the little lifeboat box in bar counters and shop counters, buying tickets for raffles, attending events like Seafest next week, things like that. Because 98% of our people are all volunteers. The crew that you see going out in the lifeboat, they're all volunteers. They give of their time, their effort, selflessly in the service of others. So it costs an awful lot of money to keep the RNLI afloat, but it's people doing selfless things like this that help that way.
The lads themselves keep saying to me, "You've done great work, Tom." Look at Henry, everybody has to pull together. I'm only one person, and I did my best to organise it as much as I can. And I think it's looked well today. The guards were very, very helpful as to getting out of town. The motorbike lads, absolutely fantastic. They marshalled the whole route for us. There have been no problems. The breakdown trucks, everybody that's been involved, Henry, have been absolutely fantastic. All I have to do is pick up the phone. As you were aware, Henry, when we talked about this first, we decided to get Meo.ie involved in this, and they've come in as sponsorship, as well as Hotel Westport, to put this programme together, and nobody has refused me on anything that I've asked them to do so far. So, you know, look, today was just a fantastic day, Henry. Everybody is, I think, cannot be but proud of what they've done here today in the west of Ireland.
Well, we've had a great day with the Connacht Veteran and Vintage Motor Club on their annual outing from Westport down to Mam Cross. And we've arrived at our final destination at Peacocks Hotel, and I can tell you the drive all the way along the coastline is just spectacular. Well, that's where we have to leave you for this week. Don't forget, coming up after the break, we'll be joining Martin Logan, who's out and about with the Irish community in the UK. And I look forward to your company same time next week. Until then, slán go fóill.
Collins Music Castlebar, suppliers of musical instruments and books for over 100 years.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the Irish in the UK. Now, over the last few weeks we've been out filming in Liverpool, Birmingham, Nottingham, Leicester, and this week we're coming to you from London. Now, first up we're going to be visiting the Ballroom of Romance in Kilburn. We'll also be catching up with Tom Monaghan, better known as the Video Man. And we'll be visiting the brand new Irish Cultural Centre in Hammersmith. So sit back and enjoy the show. Now, social dancing in London has really taken off on a Monday night, and it's been run by a great Offaly man called Michael Troy, better known in this area as McGinty.
man and a friend always.
Michael, how long have you been in London?
Well, actually, I came to England in 1969 and I went into construction business. And then I actually moved to Surrey. I live in Surrey in Weybridge. But then I got a band together and called it McGinty and his Diddy Men. And I've been on the scene ever since. And that, you know, I just went from there, you know. The Ballroom of Romance, Seamus Moore, the JCB man, he had a big pub up in Bundoak, and he had Monday night social dancing there, and he stopped it all. And I just thought, well, just for a bit of fun, I'll start it. That's over a year ago. And obviously, it's kicked off, you know. I'm getting an average of 160 to 180 people here in the winter. And the summer is, you know, is doing very well as well. And I'm enjoying it, I love it, you know. Yeah.
And it's great to see so many people here on a Monday night, and the floor is absolutely jam-packed with people dancing.
That's right. I mean, I play in the pubs on Saturday night myself, and I can only get 50 or 60 people in the pub. But you come here, and you come from everywhere. Essex, Surrey, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And it's great, you know, I love doing it, you know.
And you put food on for people as well?
Put sandwiches on and Swiss rolls, and I have a raffle and all that. And it's only a £5 to get in. So if anybody's over from Ireland for the weekend, they're quite welcome to come along. I have all the Irish bands here. TR, as you know tonight, TR's here. Sean Wilson, the Davids. I have them all here.
And you're going to be giving us a few songs later on?
Of course, yeah. I'm going to sing a couple of songs later on, yeah.
Some thoughts of his mother came to view. Was what she said the morning he was leaving to travel far across the deep blue sea. All together now. She said, "Come back, Paddy, soon again."
TR, I can tell that you're really enjoying yourself here tonight, playing to a full house in Kilburn on a Monday night.
Well, this is one of the first places I ever played in my life. When I came to England with a band called the Fine Avens back in 1970, now I was very young then, but in 1970 I played here on Quakes Road in Kilburn. This is one of the first places I played. The first place I ever played was in Manchester at the Carousel Club. So I'm really enjoying it here tonight. It's a fabulous venue every Monday night, and fair play to McGinty and the gang here. They do a great job.
Oh, it's a great thing. Now look, we've got lovely photographs here on your rear end, let's say, about all the places and times and the years you played. 47 years, I think, you're celebrating.
I first recorded my first song in 1970 with a band called the Fine Avens. That's them there. This was a little band we had at home. We called them the Prairie Boys. My brother Tony and myself, all those years ago, and then down along to the Sailors, the Night Runners, the Mainliners, and then my own first band in 1980, TR Dallas, and the rest is history.
And of course you've made so many albums over those years, and one of my favourite songs, A Story I Tell You Is True, wonderful song.
Martin, that was just a gift, really. A great song written by a man called J.J. Reedy from Newmarket, County Cork. No longer with us, unfortunately, but it's a fantastic song. Not because I recorded it, lots of other people recorded it, but the song is so well written. And that song, you would think it was written for myself, because every line in it, I can relate to it. Because growing up in the country and walking to school, I remember the pig being killed, the half door, the crane over the fire, every bit of all that, the horse being shod, walking to the well for the water. Every line in that song, I can relate to it, every line of it.
The flowers are back on the table. Our pictures.
Anna, tell me a little bit about the community centre here.
Okay, so it's attached to the church on Quakes Road. It's mainly a Catholic, well, it is a Catholic club, but it's mainly Irish people that would come in from the church next door or from the surrounding areas. We're very close to Cricklewood, and there's a lot of Irish around, so we have, you know, bingo, there's card players. On a Saturday night we have music in the lounge. And here, obviously, on a Monday night, we have the Ballroom of Romance that's been going for just over a year now, going very well on a Monday night. So
This has really taken off, hasn't it?
yeah, this time last year, McGinty started this here on a Monday night, and it's been growing really since then. Every Monday night, it's very popular with dancers mainly. They just want to dance and socialise. Yeah.
I've met Irish people from every part of Ireland here tonight.
Yeah, they travel quite a distance, some of them, to come here on a Monday night, and it's a regular thing for them now. Some of them tell me this is their new Saturday night, that they don't go out at the weekend, they come out on the Monday night. Yeah, so it's great. It's lovely to see them coming back week after week.
Come listen till I tell you how people will compel you to hear about the Armagh boys and the bold old Teddy Quill. They'll tell you of their glory in song and in story, and how to drink black porter until...
Well, we're having a wonderful time here at the Ballroom of Romance in Kilburn, and I've been joined by a wonderful Kilkenny lady now. That's Maureen Frail. Have you enjoyed the night, Maureen?
Absolutely, brilliant, absolutely.
What did you think about T.R. Dallas?
Oh, he's brilliant. I know him for many, many years.
Do you come here every Monday night?
No, I don't. Only when there's a good band like TR here.
How long have you been in London?
Since 1960.
Do you get back to Kilkenny much?
No, I haven't been home for 7 years because I've had a lot of problems health-wise in the last year. I've been in the hospital twice this year.
And have you got family here in London?
I have. I've been married here, divorced and all that, and I got three children. They're all grown up. And I got 7 grandchildren. They're all grown up as well.
And what did you work at all during your life here in London?
Nothing in particular, just cleaning, housework, you know, with the Jews and all like that. It was very good, very good.
Well, listen, it's great to meet you, Maureen. I'm glad you enjoyed the night.
I did, absolutely.
Met a man called Nadia. His father came from Hollymount, his mother from Offaly. He says he makes a packet on some old building racket, but to come back home to Ireland has always been his dream. But when it comes to sport...
Now I've been joined by a great Cavan man, Hughie McGovern. Now, Hughie, tell me a little bit about your time here in London.
Well, I came here from Glangevlin in September 1965. So this September I'll be 52 years in London, and I don't regret one bit of it. And London has been very good to us, and we met some great people, including this man standing beside me here, and lots of other people. And we had some fantastic times going to all the Irish venues. This reminded me of the Gresham on a Monday night. We used to be a great night in the Gresham. But of course, the one was the most important, and we lost it, was the Galtymore. So then Conway's came along, and unfortunately Conway's is gone, and the McGinty, or Michael Troy, he took up the challenge and started this on a Monday night, and people said, oh, Monday night, so nobody will come on a Monday night. Well, you see what it was like tonight. It's fantastic.
Never grow old, never grow old, in a land where we'll never...
Now, Sean, tell me a bit about your time here in London.
Well, I've been here about 37 years and live in Greenford, Middlesex, and I know Hughie a long time. We go back about 20 years, 25 years, and there's a lot of things to be said about London. It's a great place for work. All the people here, a lot of lads came over when the recession was in Ireland, and only for London, I think, that struggle in Ireland. And the thing is about Mayo, I come from Mayo, Crossmolina. A lot of lads with Knock Airport there, it's a great job. All the west of Ireland, all the people can fly over and back, commute all the time, no hassle.
Did you enjoy the night here tonight?
Yeah, tonight here was good, tonight. For a Monday night, you wouldn't get it anywhere, would you? A good crowd, TR Dallas, flat out. Yeah, very good. I enjoyed it. And I wouldn't have been here if Hughie rang me and said that you were coming down from Manchester to have a talk to us. So I said I'd come down and see, especially a woman from Mayo. I said I'd come and see her.
When my work here is done and my life's crown is worn, all our troubles and trials will be o'er. All our sorrows will end, all our voices will blend with the loved ones that's gone on before.
Well, they certainly know how to enjoy themselves in London, and what a great night's dancing and fantastic music by T.R. Dallas. Now we're going to take a very short break. Coming up in part 2, we'll be bringing you some more highlights from London. Great to have you back with me. Now don't forget we're here every Thursday evening at 7 o'clock with Henry McGlade for the Irish at home and abroad, and I'm back at 7:30 with the Irish in the UK. Now next up, Tom Monaghan has lived a very long time here in London and he's filmed all the big events that's taken place over the years, and we went along to meet him. Tom, when did you first get interested in photography?
Well, I got interested in photography in 1982, and I went to see, my wife took me to a friend of hers who had a video camera, and I was so impressed, so I went out and bought one in 1983 and started doing family events and, you know, stuff like that. And I said, well, okay, this looks good and people like what I do, and I started making a living out of it.
And you become very famous here in London because you're known as Tom the Video Man. But of course you film so much. Tell me about some of the events that you've covered here over the years in London.
Well, I've covered Round Park, Irish festivals too many years, and also I covered Peckham Rye, which is known as Southwark Irish Festival, and Reading, Crawley Irish Festival. And I've been doing that for God knows how many years, and I've saved all the footage, and I looked back in the archives and I said I'm glad I kept that here, you know.
Now I know that you come from County Meath, but how long have you been here in London?
I'm here since July 1966, so that'd leave me well over 50 years. I'm showing my age now. I came here when I was not quite 18. My first job was T. Walls and Sons, the bacons and the sausages, and yeah, good times, and met a lot of Irish people, and still keep in contact with them as well.
And when did you meet Bridie, your wife?
I met Bridie in 1969 in the Galtymore in Quetchwood.
And Bridie, of course, the great Kerry lady, and she's got strong connections in Kerry.
Yeah, she's got great connections in Kerry, as Colm Cooper, the Gooch, known as the Gooch. He's her first cousin.
Of course, you reared your family then here in London.
Yes, I've got 2 daughters, Lorraine and Priscilla, and of course they flew the nest. They're married now and children of their own. And yeah, I'm settled here in England, and a lot of people said, Tom, would you return back to Ireland? I said, well, it's been 50 years here. I'll go back on holiday, but I don't think I'll go back to live, because my children are here and my grandchildren, so I'll be staying.
What a wonderful man Tom is, and he's done so much filming down the years here in London. Now, when we left Tom, we nipped around to the brand new Irish Cultural Centre in Hammersmith. Jim, can you tell me, how long has the Irish Cultural Centre been here in Hammersmith?
Well, it was opened in 1995. It was opened by the then Tánaiste Dick Spring. So we've been in existence about 22 years. And the original building was here until 2012. And we had a lease on the original building. And then what happened in 2012, the council decided to put the Irish Cultural Centre and the whole site up for sale. And that caused us great difficulties because we were going to be homeless. In fact, the centre was going to disappear. So the council wanted to sell the building for $1.5 million, so we were faced with this prospect of trying to raise $1.5 million very quickly. Thankfully, I went over and spoke with the Irish government, and they, in 2012, they gave us a grant of £550,000 to help towards our task. The next job was to find the remaining $1 million very quickly. So we had to think in a rather imaginative manner. So what we did was I got in touch with Shepherd's Bush Housing Association, and we came up with a plan whereby we would ask the council if we would have permission to knock down the old centre and to build a new Irish Cultural Centre, and on top of that to have 24 apartments. So we succeeded in getting the planning permission from the council in 2012, at the end of 2012, middle of 2013. And we did a deal with Shepherd's Bush Housing Association, a partnership deal with Shepherd's Bush, whereby we would lease the 24 apartments to Shepherd's Bush, and that in turn provided the finance in order to buy the freehold of the site, which we did in March 2013. And then we closed our doors and we knocked down the old building and began the construction of our new building, which was completed just a few months ago. So it's been a very successful job. It's been quite a job, a rather difficult task, but nevertheless we've achieved it. And the important point really is we own the freehold of our new building now, so we're masters of our own house, if you like.
Now, you were telling me earlier on as well, of course, it's a beautiful new building and it's a lovely place to come. But you've also got a lot of rooms here that you rent out to different people. And I noticed that Jackie O'Donovan has rented one of the rooms there in remembrance of her family.
Yes, she has sponsored, Jackie O'Donovan and her company have sponsored one of our meeting rooms here. What we want to do is to have the Irish Cultural Centre here as really a focal point for Irish organisations throughout London to come and use, whether that be for social purposes, whether that be for business purposes, whether it be for recreational purposes, so that the Irish community can see this as a building they can come to and feel at home in. And really become involved in and support us, and in that way, of course, we're supporting them as well.
Katie, you've got a beautiful new centre here. Now give me an idea of a typical day here at the centre. What happens?
So on a Tuesday we usually have our poetry group from 11:30 to 1:30, and there'll be a nice gang that will meet up. They'll share new poems that they found over the week and reminisce about home and have some tea and biscuits. Then in the afternoon on a Tuesday we also have a singing and poetry group, and then in the evening we'll have Irish language lessons, music lessons and Irish dancing as well.
How long have you been involved with the centre? Were you involved with the old centre before the new one was rebuilt?
No, I was not in the old centre actually. I'm in London for 3 years now, so it was knocked down before I came over. I've been involved as a permanent member of staff since September of last year, but I had volunteered for a year beforehand with different events and helping out.
Now, it must be great for the Irish community here in Hammersmith to have a beautiful new building like this and a lovely place to come.
Yeah, everyone is really delighted to see that it's back open again, and you know, it was closed for nearly 4 years, so some people thought that it was never going to open again, but everyone's really happy.
It was lovely meeting them all over there at their brand new Irish Cultural Centre in Hammersmith. Now don't forget, we're back next Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Now earlier on we visited the Ballroom of Romance and we caught up with T.R. Dallas, so we're going to leave you with one of his songs. Thank you for watching.
For a while through my memory, and I'll tell you of times long ago when we walked to school summer and winter, barefoot through the fields we would go. I remember our little thatched cottage and the half door led into the hall, the crane o'er the fire in the kitchen, and and the grandfather clock on the wall. The stout it was cured with the poker, and poteen the said cured the flu. The bacon it hung from the ceiling, sure the story I tell you is true. We went to church every Sunday, and grandfather wore his best hat. The preacher he spoke from the altar, and all the women in different seats sat. Matchmaking was part of tradition, and the rambling house filled up at night. When the tailor he told the ghost stories, all the children they'd shiver with fright. The stout it was cured with the poker, and poteen the said cured the flu. The bacon it hung from the ceiling, sure the story I tell you is true. The sound of the anvil and the burning horse hoof we could smell when we passed the forge door in the evening with the water we fetched from the well. We spancelled the cows before milking, tied the hearse to the wall through the shoe. His collar and hames, the winkers and reins and the harness, we kept them like new. The stout it was cured with the poker, and poteen the said cured the flu. The bacon it hung from the ceiling, sure the story I'll tell you is true. For miles to the fair in the darkness, with our animals we walked with delight. When the wheeling and dealing was over, everyone waited on for the fight.